Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Happy New Year to everybody listening.
Happy New Year, everybody. And we have a real realtor roundtable this morning, don't we?
I'm Harvey Freed. He's Harry Glanz. We got Becky Alley, and we are going to introduce everybody who we got to start off the year. We bring in one of the best real estate offices in Metro Detroit. All the team captains are here. Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate, of course.
Talk about the best way to punch 2023 right in the face on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. I'm so excited.
We went hard early, coming out hot, aggressive, and letting everybody know that 2023 is going to be a great market for selling homes. It's unbelievable. There are a lot of buyers, and we say it every week, but we have a powerhouse team in here that's going to tell us what their vision for 2023 is going to be. And it's based on, this isn't opinion, everybody. This is based on experience and fact. Right, Jer?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to start off by first saying praise for Damar Hamlin and the Buffalo Bills and his family. Also, Lions, please beat the crap out of Green Bay this Sunday
I love
night.
it. That's Jerry Nahas. You'll see Jerry's face all over Metro Detroit. Okay, so we started off the show. We brought in all the team captains from Anthony John's office. So they got tons of knowledge. We're going to be talking about everything in this quick hour here, so we'll definitely have to bring them back later in the year. Jerry Nahas. Jerry and I have done some business over the years. You'll see his face all over. I saw you, I think, on 2 or 3 different highways, on 94, 275. And again, those are those nice, gorgeous signs you'll see up there. Jerry's known as a deal maker. And then right next to us, we got Michelle Trenta. Michelle and I have done a couple transactions over the years. And Michelle lives out where I live, out in the sticks there in the White Lake area and everything. So if you're looking at buying or selling real estate, you got to kick up the radio.
For sure. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, your billboards are pretty sweet. I see them every time I'm driving to the office. I'm seeing, I'm like, oh, there's this pretty cute little face.
Thank you, guys.
Well, maybe the best part of his promotion is his license plate. You know his license plate.
The big
He's
D.
got the old English D. It's D with deal maker on it.
I like to hear you.
That's cool. I know a little bit about license plates, too. Not because I made them at Jackson, but because I have a personalized license plate.
All right, let's kick right into some real estate talk. And again, if you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. Of course, the voice across from me, Becky Alley, with top 1% of all originators. So if you got some tough questions, we're definitely going to be ironing out sellers' expectations, guys. Definitely need to be put in check, because some of them are thinking that it's 21 and 22. But again, these home values with the lack of inventory, if you guys want to jump in right on that, it looks like there's going to be a lack of inventory.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think a lot of our people that are in the market right now, they're seeing what's happening in the past couple months, where we've seen the lowest number in pending sales since 2015, right? So everybody is confused. What's going on? What happened? Well, there are several factors to this. One, there was this increase in spike of interest rates in comparison to what it was in the beginning of the year. 2, the uncertainty of what's going to happen in the market. 3, it's the season. This has happened just in the past couple months. So a lot of people are sitting there waiting. What should I do? Should I wait? What's going to happen to the market? What's going to happen to the house values? What's going to happen to the interest rates? But I'm telling you right now that interest rates will kind of settle down a little bit and stay right where we are. And more importantly, the house values will continually go up. It may be on a slower rate increase, but it will go up as the market and the shift, the season changes. As we get closer to the springtime, you'll see that there will be more homes on the market and a lot more buyers out there. If you are looking at data and you're looking at what we have out there, inventory is still at a record low, and it's not catching up to the demand.
Well, so like when you're talking about the market, like I talk about this a lot. This market isn't just one thing. This is the most buyery seller's market we've ever seen, where it's technically a seller's market if you're looking at it on paper, but buyers are really able to take advantage of concessions, get their offers accepted because there's a lack of buyers, because people were a little bit spooked about these interest rates. But the ones that are getting these rent letters, they're definitely coming out in droves. So people are really seeing the value of real estate. I mean, but you're talking about concessions. So this time last year, the rates were 3% less than this time last year. And this time last year, you're looking at, so now if you're looking at 22 numbers, 42% are now concessions.
Yeah.
Whereas like you can even breathe, you can even mention or even think concessions into example. So this is a perfect time to buy because you're able to really take advantage of the market if you are a first-time home buyer or even a repeat buyer.
Yeah, Michelle, bringing you into the conversation, I want to go over this. Jerry mentioned it. We talked about it on the podcast. Really the tale of 2 years, 2022, right? The first half of the year, everything kind of eased in. Then all of a sudden, rates went up, and the second half of the year became something we weren't accustomed to. But really, everybody has to forget, Michelle, that 2020 and 21, that was fantasy land. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen again, and rates are not going down to 3%. Will they settle back down? That remains to be seen. But for 2023, what are you seeing in terms of, we know in Michigan, when the weather starts getting good, then people will be coming out, more houses go on the market. But in the year of 2023, what does your office see what's going to happen? What are they planning on?
Sure. First, I want to say thanks for having me because I didn't get to say hi yet.
Hey, Michelle.
There's
really
that.
excited to be here. Shout out to all our fellow agents at the brand. But yeah, great point. So personally, I have to say that if you are I'll talk on both sides. If you're a seller, our office actually, because we come with great experience and just training, well, we're firstly trained by the best sales agent in the state of Michigan, Anthony John. And then we have weekly trainings to keep ourselves on the pulse of the market. There is no doubt that we can get you top dollar for your home. Now, because we're experienced, we do know how to price your home appropriately. I've had a couple, and I know a lot of members on my team have had a couple listings that have sold over asking because we know how to get your home sold for the right price. On the flip side, as a buyer, I was just actually talking with one of my clients last night who said that they were going to put things on hold because interest rates came up. And I said, no, don't do that. We know exactly how to get you a good rate. And it might be a secret to some people, but not to our clients, because we can explain to them how we can get the rate bought down by the seller, work on additional concessions. So if you thought you missed out on the greatest market of all time, honestly, right now is a really good time to buy also. And I am pulling clients who weren't cash buyers 2 years ago out, and we are going to see homes, and they're getting good deals.
Let me drop the number here, 248-539-9797. We're going to take calls all morning long. Again, we're having this whole crew back because it's only a 1 hour show. We'd like to hear from you. There's two things that are really good in the market. The interest rates are good. They're really good. And also 32 days average on a listing to get a house, sold. That's also really good. Just historically speaking, Harry talks about this fantasy island, the pandemic years, 20 and 21. Those years are probably not going to see anything like that again. And some people have mentioned recently, it's really nice. Actually, Anthony and I talked Jason, a couple different people said, it's really nice. Now the buyers have an opportunity to get into the house, do the proper due diligence, get the inspections done the right way.
Yeah, I'd like to add one more thing. If you're in the market for a home and you're sitting there and you're waiting, listen, don't wait. Now is the time. Whether you're going to buy or you're going to sell, now is the time. So if you're looking to make a purchase, but you're waiting for a better deal, that deal is not going to come. Time over time, as we will see, that the house values will continually become more expensive. And if you're in a lease right now, you're paying 100% interest. So we want to make sure that we get you in a home, and you want to be represented by the best agents in the metro area, and that's us at Anthony John Luxury Real Estate.
Well, there's nothing like experience, right? We've experienced the ups and downs and been doing this for, people say I'm old. Well, I am. I've been doing this for 5 decades. That means I started in 89, and it's now 2023. So what does that really mean? It means that we've seen the cycles. We've seen this is no time to panic. And when I talk about panicking, there's no waiting. If you think this is going to be 2007, 8, and 9, and there's going to be a half-off sale on homes, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're waiting to get
Those
the
days are
greatest
long
deal,
gone.
you have to forget about it. If it checks the majority of the boxes, Becky and I talk about it all the time, you can't wait because somebody's going to buy that house. It's not going to be you, and then you're going to deprive yourself from a very good situation. You're paying rent. It's 100% interest. And what are you doing? And somebody on the radio said, what are you waiting for? I mean, what are we waiting for? Forget about it.
Well, the best time to buy a house is when it works for you. And that's the reality of it. And everyone's situation is different. I mean, I had a closing yesterday, 2 years after I had my initial conversation with them, because we identified that they had to fix some things on the credit. But the reality is that it has to work for you when it makes sense for you. But it was such a rewarding experience 2 years after the fact to finally get them in the house. And the reality is that if you're sitting as a wallflower waiting for the perfect market, it has to be when it's good for you. Because if you're paying $1,600 in rent, you can pay $1,600 on a mortgage all day long. And the reality is that the investors are identifying the fact that this is a good time to buy. So if you are a first-time home buyer, repeat buyer, and you are hesitating, while you're hesitating, the other investors are going to be gobbling up these properties. Why? Because they identify that if you're not buying, you're renting, and housing is always going to be a necessity. So you need to start pouring into your own pockets instead of other people.
We always talk about the team so important. And again, because you get your training from your team, you got these tough questions and situations that come up on properties. But more importantly, the best thing about education and your knowledge is your guys' negotiation skills. This is something, look, your cousin Ann, everyone's getting in the real estate business for the last couple of years, Michelle, no doubt about that. But the fact of the matter is you guys know how to negotiate these deals. You're trained in this. Michelle, we're up against a quick break, but don't worry. She's biting at it. You know what? You'll stay and you'll give your answer right when we come back. All right, you got it on
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. All right, you got it on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, Equal Housing Lender. We're taking calls here all morning long up till 10 o'clock, and it's going to be sports with Pat Caputo. And there's a big football game tomorrow, so I know we're going to be talking about that. Before we went to the break, I brought up negotiations. You guys are so trained in this stuff, Michelle. And, of course, you want to talk about negotiations and a little bit about it.
Okay, so the really important thing to stress to anybody who's listening right now, because the market can get tricky, and it certainly was tricky the last 2 years, the agents at Anthony John Luxury Real Estate, we're the ones actually who have the tricks to get the offers accepted because we are all about winning. And you don't have to listen to this radio station thing that we're at today. Don't take our word for it. Go and research us. You can actually find us as Zillow Premier Agents. We have 1 billion sold in real estate. We have over 1,100 all 5-star reviews from our clients. That says something, and we are very proud and honored to be a part of that. We also, you can come visit us at anthonyjohn.com at our website, get to know everyone on our team. We have management here, but we have 80 agents, and you cannot go wrong with a negotiator from our brand, and we would love to do business with you.
And Michelle's running for office, and she approves that message.
Yes,
there you go.
That was an official approval.
That was an approved message by Michelle.
Great stuff, Michelle Trenton. Again, Michelle, I look forward to seeing you on the listing side or the buy side on a transaction really soon. She's great. We keep rotating. All the team captains are coming in. We're going to hear from everyone. And
there's
of course,
just so much energy. We couldn't just give it to one person. I mean, to have all the team leaders of Anthony John's real estate team, that is amazing. Actually, it's there's not a better way we could have kicked off 2023.
For the first show of the year, you come out hot and heavy. It's like coming out of the bullpen throwing 105. Right?
All right, here's the sports angle of this. Of course, the Hardcore Mortgage Show has been on 97.1 The Ticket for such a long time. But we got a little sports angle. Robert and Vera Corey, of course, are proud sponsors. They're really directly related. They're the sort of the go-to people. Of course, Anthony John Real Estate. You'll see them down at Little Caesars Arena because it's all over the place. You guys are the sponsors, basically, the real estate agents, preferred real estate agents of the Detroit Pistons. That's pretty cool, Robert.
Absolutely. We greatly appreciate it. It's been such a humbling experience. My wife and I have had a great opportunity to get partnered with the Detroit Pistons, and I would love for my wife, Vera, to kind of share with you guys exactly how this all came about.
Hello. Good morning. It's actually been an absolute blessing. It's our 3rd year with the Detroit Pistons. Our partnership started well before COVID. I was just sitting at home one night, and I got a beautiful phone call from one of our leads. And he came in, and we were just talking, and he was telling me about how he wanted to rent a house because he was being job relocated right now.
Uh-oh.
And, everything before COVID was kind of wishy-washy, and we didn't know where the world was going to go at that time. But, so we got to talking and built a great relationship over the phone. And then, of course, lo and behold, lockdown happened. And everything was kind of on a standstill at that point. But of course, with our amazing follow-up and, just continuing building relationships with many clients, that didn't stop us at all.
This guy was a basketball player, I'm guessing. No, he was?
No.
Okay.
This was one of the top executives over at the Pistons. Yes. So with our follow-up, we continued to do that and built a great relationship, like I said. And we like I said, during COVID, we're on a standstill. So we didn't know whether he was coming, where he was going. And then, lo and behold, a few months after the lockdown, I got a phone call. And he was like, "Hey, Vera, how are you? I'm still coming to Detroit, but I don't need to rent anymore. I would like to purchase at this time." And I said, "Okay, wonderful, absolutely." Came, took him out, showed him some properties, built a wonderful relationship. And as realtors, all of our clients start out as buyers, clients, but we always end up as friends because, when someone is buying a home, they want to obviously have that trust in you. Your face is always going to be remembered when they are sitting in that home. So you always want to have a great relationship with all of your clients. And that turned into a beautiful friendship as well.
Well, real estate and mortgage industry is all based on relationships, and that's the key. And you talk about it. Becky and I had a wonderful closing yesterday. We both attended. We wanted to be there for somebody because it's a special friend of Becky's.
Yeah.
And you just have to be there because that's how you cultivate and maintain those relationships, and you build new relationships.
Exactly.
And the key word in that is trust.
Absolutely.
Right? When you earn somebody's trust, it's an honor.
Yes.
It's humbling.
Yes.
And the communication that goes along with that, Becky can attest to this because it's an everyday, all day, everyday thing when you're building relationships.
What you're describing is it's experience creating experiences. And you're always one call, one decision away from a totally different life. And if you wouldn't have cultivated that relationship, maintained that relationship, followed up on that relationship, you guys maybe would not have this amazing relationship with the Detroit Pistons like you have right now. So that's a testament to what you guys have been preaching and what you guys stand upon, because we only align ourselves with people of the highest caliber. And part of that is follow-up, customer service. Right now, it's not about 5-star service, it's world-class service, because you don't know where anyone's coming from. But if you handle someone that's $100,000 loan and you treat them the same as their $1 million loan, they are going to be your client for life. For life.
I've never dealt with this many quality agents, this top level, that answer their phones that often, and that's just a stretch. So it's always about that service.
But if you're not answering your phone, what are you doing? I mean, people talk about, I don't know. They say, well, are you working 9 to 5? No, I don't work 9 to 5. Okay, are you working weekends? You have to work weekends if you're in our industry.
Absolutely.
And you work nights, and you work whenever anybody needs you. It's that kind of thing.
Robert,
right? It's just what it is.
Traditionally, the first quarter of the year is always a pretty busy time. 90% of the homes are sold in this first quarter. Are you guys already seeing that it looks like 2023 is going to be a pretty solid year?
Absolutely, because to us, that's the biggest thing we've noticed. A lot of people tend to slow things down towards the end of Q4, kind of as the year is ending. A lot of people are kind of, I guess, getting chillaxed. But with our office, we're just kind of always going full force. We're not waiting. We're not waiting for that phone to ring. We're actually being more diligent. We're going out there. We're knocking on people's doors. We're calling the pipeline. We're just making ourselves available to all our clients on any given day. And that's the biggest thing we've noticed, the transition correlating from end of 2022 into 2023. Our business has just been spiraling out and just continuing on a nonstop.
What you're talking about is the procrastination and the holiday-itis that I can't stand. So when everyone else checks out, I push the pedal even harder, and everyone knows that because I'm ringing everyone's bell in my company, because what you're talking about is, there's a transition. The market changed, and if you stayed the same, then you missed out. You're going to miss out. So it's either going to be 30% are going to fall out, 60% are going to struggle, but the 10% like yourselves are going to dominate and take over this territory for sure.
Well, to me, that's very true, because if you're not being aggressive in this market, like you indicated a comment a second ago, I left a 9-to-5 job to do basically a 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year job, because this is something I love to do. And I believe anyone that has a passion to work in this industry is really going all in or not.
So, people talk about 5-star reviews. They talk about that kind of thing. Look, everybody wants to achieve a 5-star review. No. I want to achieve a 10-star review. Because if the norm is 5 stars, and people say, well, that whatever. I don't even go for that. I mean, you got to go higher. You have to go farther, and you have to do more. Right. You can't sit back anymore. You have to go ahead, and if you're in a customer service related industry, you have to be above and beyond, Vera.
All right. Hey, go ahead. Oh, you want to answer that, Vera?
No.
So, Vera, I'm going to go right to you with this question. With that being said, I had a conversation with my cousin the other day, and he said, Harvey, prices are coming down. And I looked at him like he was strange. And I said, wait a minute here. I said, maybe they're being corrected. Vera, there are some situations where people overlisted their house. We see it because there's so many agents out there. They didn't have any business. They don't have these relationships. And they threw a number at somebody and they got excited. They listed their house, let's say 20, 30,000 over. Well, after 2 weeks and no offers, now they're going to readjust that price. That doesn't mean prices are coming down.
No, actually, this is what you call a normal market. So prices are where they are needed to be. And it's definitely the best time to buy right now. There's negotiations happening. There's people are, before we were going out seeing or we would be actually driving on the way to a house and get an alert that, offer pending. Yeah. Here we go.
There's no more just throwing a house on the market at the highest price and see what we get, right? I mean, when your client tells you that, hey, just throw it on the market for me, see what happens. What do you tell them?
Well, here's the problem with that. A lot of people, unfortunately, in today's market are basically basing the market off of a year and a half ago. And unfortunately, this is a problem. I truly do feel it's on the agent's responsibility to educate their client. A lot of clients, unfortunately, are hoping to get that 40, 50,000 over asking, but you do have to bring people down and realize, look, I guess the train has come and gone. I guess at one point you really have to come to grips that, look, the values have kind of leveled out, but at the same time, if you still price a home accordingly and price it at the right price, you will still get over asking. And that pays true to a listing I just recently had in Dearborn, where we listed it actually the right way, and we ended up getting 10K over asking. And our client couldn't be more elated with the result of what we did. And at the end of the day, they were like, thank you for guiding us in the right direction, because we were thinking we should list it much higher. But of course, doing what's right, and Vera and I truly do feel, as long as you educate your client and help them, things are going to go a lot better
It's
for
so
you.
important to educate, and that's our biggest thing is we literally hold your hand from start to finish with full transparency, of course, and that's the thing. As a real estate agent, you have to do your homework. You have to study. You have to, look at the comparables. Make sure that you're pricing the home where it needs to be so you don't run into any issues like that.
What you're saying is you can't fake it till you make it anymore. You can't. This is a skills-based market right now, and those people that don't have the skill set, that are not adapting to what's changing, they're going to be exploited. And that's where we're talking about that 10% that's going to take over territory and dominate. That's why you guys are of that caliber, because you're setting the proper expectations in the beginning.
And I truly do feel that pays dividends, because it really matters where you're located. I've had the pleasure of working with many top leaders and many great managers. And truly with our leader, Anthony John, he truly, I guess, does take the icing on the cake. He has such a great vision in everything he does. He's built such a great empire from the bottom up. And our trajectory is only heading upwards. And believe me, I've been with Anthony the last 5 years. This is actually my 5-year anniversary, and it's been truly a blessing. And people always ask, would you go elsewhere? Never. I would never leave such a great leader, such a great accomplishment that we've had going on here.
All right, one of the greatest couples in real estate here in Metro
dynamic.
Detroit, Robert and Vera Corey.
Thank you, guys.
You guys are great. We see your signs all
Look
over,
good,
too.
feel good. It's all good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
We
All right,
appreciate
we're
it.
going to have Robert and Vera back, of course, this year. And again, we got tons to answer here for you. 248-539-9797. Keep it here. Welcome back to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, 929. If you're just joining us, it's January 7th, 2023. Cloudy day outside, but we got tons to be excited about. This is going to be a great year. We've got Lions football, Mr. Harry Glantz. That's going to be exciting.
Hey, does everybody
Lions in the
see
Super Bowl.
Does everybody see what's going on in the studio here through Facebook Live on the camera?
I hope they do.
We got a bunch of all-stars in here. This is a powerful show. We came out hot in 2023. First show of the year, everybody.
Let me introduce the new three guys that came out. Of course, all the team captains. Anthony John, Luxury Realty, came in today, and we've got everyone here. Dimitri Abro, there's Dimitri over there. Northwood's famous safety, one of the best defensive players.
He
as
hit
a
hard.
walk-on. That's good enough. Jason Pratt. Outstanding. Always like great. Sorry, Jace. I never get that straight. Jason, always great to have you. These guys are all dressed, by the way, to the T's. These guys are definitely zippered up here. And Cameron Boutros, you guys are outstanding. We have a lot to share with you here. So let me give you a quick neighborly story because it is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Show. It has to do with home ownership.
All right.
And a quick little story, neighborly love. Make that your New Year's resolution. I'm not really a resolution guy, but if you've got some problems with your neighbors over the year, this is the year where you put all that beside you and you forget about it. And my story goes real fast is someone knocked down the mailbox, and sure enough, it's my mailbox and 4 other neighbors. So I put a letter in the mail, and sure enough, Dave, who's 75 years old, him and I are going to be constructing this afternoon at noon. We got the post hole digger. We got it all going on.
So you want everybody out there watching you guys or helping, or what's the story
I
here?
just want everyone to be nice to their neighbors and
There
help
you go.
clean up your neighborhoods. And again, if something goes down in the neighborhood, that's your equity. If you see garbage going around, if you got a neighbor who left the garbage can out, go ahead and tuck it away for them. There's a lot of great things we can do as people. And again, that just builds equity and makes your neighborhood that much nicer, Cameron.
Well, I have to agree with you. Every year come like Halloween.
Yes.
Okay, so I open up my garage. I invite the entire neighborhood over. I want everybody to be close because I invest in my neighborhood with my family. My kids are in my neighborhood. I want them to know everybody, and I want to know who the parents are. And, as a nosy realtor, I want them to know who I am.
Right, exactly.
So I keep in touch with the community. I think it's very, very important.
Well, you got to know what's going on in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
and when we grew up, you knew everybody in every house, and you knew all the kids there. You went out and play. You did all those kind of things, and that's what it's all about when you live in the neighborhood.
And we got to do it now more than ever because our Lions are going to the Super Bowl, right? So we all got to be happy. Yeah. We all got to have a smile on our face because once they win tomorrow, they punch their ticket to the playoffs. Obviously, we need the Seahawks to lose, but that is definitely something that is going to happen.
Dimitri, let's talk about some first-time home buyers right away again. Sure. Again, you're that millennial generation. Again, you're sharper than most of them. You answer the phone more than all of them. So I definitely want to deal with you. With that being said, first-time home buyers, they've got to get this just basic knowledge behind them, and that gives them the confidence. So when you go out and show homes, they're prepared. They're ready to close in 30 days.
100%, man. 100%. So I don't really look at myself as a realtor too much, and I think a lot of these guys can attest to it. We're more like teachers, right? Especially for first-time home buyers because, let's be real, they don't know what they're doing. We do this every day, and I think a common misconception is that people overanalyze and overthink this process. Granted, yes, it's a big decision, probably the biggest purchase they're going to make in their entire lives, but at the same time, it's not that serious, Granted, they hear horror stories of how real estate was done back in, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. But it's easy now, and if you sit down and you educate somebody on how the process works, it takes a lot of that pressure off of them, So we're educators, we're teachers, and obviously, we're realtors, obviously, too. But once we do that, it's a piece of cake.
Well, you and Jason are millennials. I'm gonna say Jason's millennial, too. Okay, what do you think of the myth that millennials aren't buying houses?
How old do you have to be a millennial?
I think you might be too old, Jay.
I'm going to tell you what. I know you're not 40.
Well, correct.
Thank you. You're a millennial.
I'm on the cusp, though. Technically, they say I might be.
You're not 40. You're a millennial.
I was going to piggyback off Dimitri. In teaching these customers, there's so many different types of people, right? We know how to adapt to each client to make each situation easier for them. You always have to adapt to the agents, to the clients, and to the situation because every home is different.
Yeah,
So-
dispel the myth that millennials aren't buying houses.
No,
They're buying.
They're
course.
buying.
Yeah.
You're talking about when they are getting hit with these rent letters. They are literally, I feel like there's going to be such an influx of that particular age range over 2023 and 2024. I feel like they're going to start dominating the market because they're done waiting and they're done they're done renting. I mean, because I'm
Yeah,
getting
they
all
wanna
those
buy.
calls. Yes, and it's about what you're talking about is you either pivot or you perish. So if you are not able to pivot around your client's expectations, if you're not able to constantly be adapting to what they're expecting, then the deal is going to perish, right? But part of that is surrounding yourself with the people of like-mindedness that are going to make home buying easy. Because I talk with return buyers that they don't even know what happened to them. Like, they didn't deal with me for the first time, but now they're dealing with me the second time. They're like, this is a completely different experience because you are setting the expectations immediately up front because you're not selling, you're helping. And there's a huge difference, and people sense that.
Yeah, a lot of consumers are uneducated about a lot of things in real estate, so it's our job to educate them.
I always have a little joke for some of the buyers. I'm like, hey, by the way, we're a couple weeks into this purchase. Did you read the purchase agreement? And most of them say no.
You know what your contract says?
That's not always good. Hey, for the affordability factor has improved. And why did it improve a little bit? Interest rates did tickle down a little bit. There was that little time there in October where it looked like, boy, these rates could get a little out of hand, but they did trickle down. Historically, high inflation lessens the idea that the severity of the Fed is going to drop these interest rates. Again, the labor market's really strong now. We want to promise everyone, and we want to make suggestions that these mortgage interest rates are going to be lower sometime in 2023. There's no guarantee of that. We might be looking at 18 to 24 months, maybe closer to the election coming up in November of 24. So there is no guarantee that, A, the market's going to go up in value or the rates are going to come down.
Yeah, rates are rates. And what we said all the time, 1980, 81, 82, Jason, you know nothing about that. But rates were at 17, 18%. People were still buying homes. So
Yeah, you
people
said
are
you
going to
were
buy
in the
homes no matter
business
what.
since 89?
Yeah.
Well, I was born in 88. So.
There you go, brother. Woo!
But we say one thing, date the rate, marry the house. Find the right house. You can always adjust the rates. You can refinance. I think Michelle touched on it. You can buy down points and stuff like that. So just find the house you want. We'll find it for you and go from there.
I hope the Fed isn't that stubborn and see some relief our way definitely in 2023. And again, like we just mentioned, you're buying the house because you love it. You're going to improve on this house anyways. And so many, Becky, of our buyers go in little down. Again, there's more college debt out there than probably in the 60s and the 70s in the years past. So families have to do the right thing with the money. And a lot of times they just need that extra money to keep in their pocket so they can put the new roof on or the new hot water heater, whatever might come up.
Yeah, majority of the time, it's not the payment that is the issue for everyone because they're already making it when they're renting, but it's the funds for closing that always seems to be the topic of conversation and properly documenting those funds. And if you were trying to buy a home in 2023 or even prepping for 2024, you cannot start the conversation soon enough because until we're able to analyze your credit, that's why we can actually set that expectation for you so you know what you're getting into so that way we can get you in line with these top line agents of the brand, right? We don't just let anyone come and take these airwaves. I mean, we are setting the stage for people because we need to make sure that our clients are in line with the best people because we talked about before, it's not about 5 stars. Who cares about that? We're looking for world-class service. And these guys are out here with their 3-piece suits. I mean, when you look good, you feel good. People sense that and people want to be taken care of in 2023 and beyond. And so it's products are not soup du jour. It's not cookie cutter. Every situation is different. Every buyer's different. Every seller's different. And the fact that you guys curtail to all of your clients speaks of you as individuals, but also as a whole.
I want to say something. Yeah, everybody dances around this word, but I just want to go out and say it for my own experience. It is a buyer's market. The negotiations are on your side right now. Inventory is low. Buyers are holding out to make a purchase when interest rates dip a little bit. They're looking for that sign. Well, guess what? You're looking for competition. You don't want competition. You want to buy a house now. You want to have buyer's leverage. You want to be the only one making that offer on the offer table. And we are going to be your negotiator and we're going to be your strong arm and we're going to take advantage of the situation, as you should too, before that window of opportunity closes and you say, why'd I wait?
And Cameron, especially now in January, February, March, if somebody has a home for sale on the market in Michigan in the dead of winter, don't you think they're going to want to negotiate to sell that house?
They sure do. This is experience talking. They want to negotiate. They want to make an offer. Hey, this is when you hear listing agents, I have a motivated seller. Yeah. I didn't hear that a year ago. I got one too. We got motivated sellers. These are key words that you want to hear that should make every buyer just like light up.
Motivated seller translated code is, we got to get rid of this house.
We got to get rid of this house.
We've got other plans. All right.
As the buyer, you want to be the first foot in the door.
Yeah.
As the buyer, you just want to be in the first foot in the door so you can negotiate as much as possible.
Although home prices may not rise every year, they almost always go up. That's for sure. As long as you keep your house for a decent amount of years. Of course, if you would have bought in 19 at some low price and then 20 and 21, that appreciation went through the roof. We were looking at 10 to 20% in Metro Detroit. Again, it's not a short-term play, though. Again, most of the families, this is a house for your family. I always talked about building community, and that's all the great stuff about home ownership. Your kids, the Halloween. These are all the great memories I have of home ownership, and really meeting some of my best friends have always been my neighbors. I tell that to the young buyers, Dimitri, and that's one of the things like your kids haven't even met your best friends yet. And actually, when I was a kid, I was 23 when I bought my first house. I call myself on the younger side. I met some of my best friends right from that first house.
Right, man. I mean, buying a house is just so exciting, because once you do it, it opens the door for so much opportunity, so many different people to meet, and even in our business, like what a blessing. We get to meet new people every single day. And like some of my clients are my closest friends, and it's amazing to see the relationships that we build, doing our job every single day. Like I love getting on the road, going to show a house, seeing people that I've built that relationship with. And I'm sure a lot of these guys can attest to it as well, and I'm just so happy to be doing what I'm doing. And I know Cameron is, I know Jason is, I know all those guys out there are too. So it's amazing.
Guys, we're up against a break. Yeah, I already told you you're all having it back. Jason, you jump in. Go on. You hear the music playing there?
Yeah, I do hear it. Just to your point, though, too, it can be an exciting process. It is a very stressful process if you don't have the right agent.
Amen.
Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate.
All right.
Or lender. Sorry, Becky.
Cameron Bruchos, Jason Prate.
Yes.
Dimitri Avro, you guys are outstanding. Having you guys back. See you next week. We'll have some lunch or something. You guys are outstanding.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Some of the best looking, well-dressed real estate agents who know exactly what they're doing. These guys are master negotiators. Keep it here. 97.1 The Ticket. We're going to be back right after this break. All right, welcome back to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We are broadcasting live here. We got Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. You see these huge signs all over the highways in Metro Detroit. It's one of the top real estate agents and real estate teams. No doubt. We got all the
I pass by
captains here.
Jerry's every day.
Oh, you pass by Jerry?
Yeah, I pass
He's
his
not
every
throwing
day.
eggs at it or
No,
anything.
heck no. He's got too pretty of a face to throw eggs at that. Come on.
We're having way too much fun. And again, this is what real estate and mortgages is all about. Again, you get your whole team together and you get these professionals involved.
Harvey, the
Harry.
keyword's relationships. This is a relationship. You have to have a relationship with a buyer and a seller, with your clients, with everybody in this industry. And I'm looking around the table here, and we see people at work. And when we say this, it's not cliche. This is a 24/7, 365 business. Even if you go out of town, you're not really out of town because you're really not on vacation because your phone's blowing up.
No, if you want to,
right?
if you want to be busy in this business, you go on vacation because people smell it, and
That's
then
right.
your
It's
phone starts
amazing.
blowing up.
Even if you go home, you have to learn how to prioritize.
So there's an old saying. The old saying goes like this: if you want something done, give it to a busy person. All right, you don't do something. You don't give it to somebody that's not doing anything. You do it to somebody that's busy all the time. And this is the vibe that we're getting. All the energy that we have. It's about doing business and having constructive conversations. That's what it is.
Definitely. And there's a reason why we have such a huge piece of the marketplace is because we put clients first. We make sure that we work together as a team, and we are representing the best clients in this area. And we have the best 5-star reviews, the most deals done. And, give us a call. If you're looking for a house, if you're looking to sell a house, give us a call. Let us help you. Let us educate you and represent you on your next.
Well, Jerry, let's talk about that. We talked about that. We have your whole crew in here, all the captains, Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. What are your goals personally and business for 2023? What do you see? What's going on for 2023 for you? I mean, what do you think? What's your vibe? You're an experienced guy.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, we talk about this on a professional and on a team basis. I'm going to tell you that if you notice and you look in the market and you see what's happening with everyone in the industry, whether they're a real estate agent or even on the mortgage lending side, you see people jumping suit. You see them going from one place to another because they don't know what is going on in this market. They don't have any consistent business. They're struggling to find clients to make deals happen. And there's plenty of reasons to why this is happening. It's because they're at the wrong place. They don't have the right training. They don't have the right resources to make sure that they are successful. And at Anthony John Luxury Real Estate, we have all of that. And more importantly, is we treat our clients with the best customer service that's out there, but we are trained to be the best in the marketplace. And when we are educating ourselves, we are educating our clients. So if you want to be in a better place and you want to make sure that you're taking care of your clients and you have consistent business, come to Anthony John Luxury Real Estate. Let us meet, let us talk, and let us see how we can make sure that you are taken care of and you can take care of your clients.
Let me co-sign Jerry on that. So at Anthony John Luxury Real Estate, you have to understand we own almost every zip code. We have an overflow of business. We have a pipeline that requires work. We're not a part-time gig. All our agents are full-time workers. We work 6-7 days a week. There's a payoff to it. But if you want the business, if you want to grow, if you want to mature your own business, we have that available. We're always growing.
But you're
You
also
need our
promoting. You're promoting your clients' homes. When you do an open house, you just don't throw in the multi-list and say CLA. Or you're doing open houses.
Yeah.
You're doing all the marketing material. You're driving people to that listing.
But when we own the biggest buyer pool in all of Michigan, who do you want to list with?
Right.
Who do you want to? Do you want to
You
list
wanna
with
list with the
ABC
people that are
Realty
bringing
down the
buyers.
street, or do you want every single buyer from every single zip code looking at your listing that we have at Anthony John? It's a no-brainer.
I'm going to be constructing an ice shanty in front of your office.
Well, what you're talking about is market exposure,
Robert wants to
right?
jump in.
Market
Robert Corey,
exposure.
yes,
Honestly,
Robert.
guys, the biggest thing that we've noticed, I'm sure we noticed a lot of buyers and sellers. Everyone's been on the fence of whether or not this is the right time to buy. And we can assure you, this is truly by far the best time to buy. And if you would allow me just a minute to pretty much further elaborate on this. A lot of people about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, were more than happy to spend $30,000 to $100,000 over asking because they got a 3% interest rate. And at that time, they felt elated. This was the best thing ever. But if you fast forward to today's market, this is the luxury, and please let this resonate with you. Even right now, we get it. Rates have doubled, and your payment's going to go up $400 or $500 a month, maybe even more, and we get it. But you got to stop and look at it this way, and I do a really quick, simple equation. Hypothetically, if you were to spend $400 extra a month, if you break that down over the course of a year, you're spending an extra $5,000 a year. Now, if you break that down over a decade, just in pretty much fast forward 10 years, you've invested $50,000 extra. So you have to stop and ask yourself, would you rather spend extra a month and then end up reaching that 50K, or would you give up that 50K rate from the get-go? Now, the biggest reason we say this is because rates are temporary. We have a saying in real estate, you marry the house and you date the rate. That rate is only temporary, and we can assure you, as history repeats itself, those rates are going to end up going back down. And as you see it, everyone panicked, rates hit 7%. Lo and behold, a few weeks later, they started to drop and drop and drop. And now we're getting clients with great programs at 4.99, 5.25. So it all really depends on who's working on your team. And truly, working with our office, you're going to get the best results.
Ask our parents what their rates were.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on my grandma Allie up in here with her 19% on her little green mansion. So I get that. And what you're talking about, though, is I like to say you're looking for your forever home, not your forever loan. And right now you're getting into that situation where you're able to secure the house. You actually have the luxury of looking at a house 2 or 3 times before driving to it, only to find out that it was pending the last 2 years. And you secure the house now at a price you're comfortable with, and you refinance at your leisure. Because anyone that's been in this business knows that we are just in a cycle, and this is going to change. You have 45 million people from the age of 25 to 35 that are strongly entering the buyer's market. So to answer your question more directly that Harry brought up, are millennials buying? Yes. Are they going to buy? Yes. 45 million people are going to strongly, like I said, be coming in here, and the people that are going to be servicing them are the people that are in this room.
Yeah, the math never lies.
Absolutely.
Right? So you do the math equation like you eloquently illustrated, put pen to paper, and we do the math. And then that's when you get set up for success. You got to do the math.
And of course, if you look at it, here's the other benefit of it. You're now able to get homes reduced. You're getting homes 20, 30, 50,000 below. We're getting sellers to pay our clients closing costs. So we're getting a lot of seller concessions. So to sellers, it's still a great benefit as long as you've got the right team listing your home for you. And we can assure you, giving any one of the agents at the Anthony John Luxury brand an opportunity to list your home, you truly are going to see the difference. So please feel free to always reach out to us for the best service out there.
Yeah, and I mean, what I've always learned is, like, look at real estate like a teeter-totter, right? Like, if you got high prices, you're probably going to have lower rates, and vice versa. If you got higher rates, you're going to get low prices. So as a client, as a customer, as somebody who's looking for a new house, you have to determine what's most important to you, right? But you got to look at it, like you said, from an analytical standpoint and figure out, okay, what's going to put me in the best financial situation? And honestly, like everybody's alluded to, it's probably what's going on right now.
There's no question that's what's going on now.
Sure.
And like you said, if you're paying $400 more a month now, you didn't have to lay the $50K, the 50 grand out right now. And that $400 after tax, because the only interest deduction you have now is what? Mortgage interest is really $280. If it's 30% deduction off $400, do the math.
That's a great point.
So that's what you really have to look at. And you didn't have to come out of pocket with that $50,000.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Because you could
facts here.
Sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
Robert.
No, I was just going to say, because you literally could utilize that 50 grand that you were going to
Other ways.
overpay and truly and pretty much remodel your home. You can do whatever you wanted. Guy, very true. My wife and I actually had the exact same thing happen to us. We were fortunate enough to utilize equity in the home and pretty much remodel our basement to how we wanted, instead of just basically, I truly say it, we're literally dumping and wasting 50 grand up front. And if you don't have to, why do it?
Do the math.
All right, home ownership's at 65%. Now, those numbers are pretty good. In 2000, just in 2000, doesn't seem that long ago, 23 years ago, interest rates are at 8%, folks. Now is a great time. And again, there's no guarantee that these mortgage rates are going to drop any, but there is a guarantee that there's going to be a ton of competition come this springtime. And again, not a lot of inventory out there. It's going to be definitely something, if you're looking to buy, Cameron, it's going to be a little tighter later in the year.
It will be a little tighter later in the year, and you can expect some competition. You can expect some people who can't hold out anymore. They're going to feel that, hey, this is normal, and what you're going to do is you're going to find yourself with plenty of competition on the offer table, and you're going to feel yourself, you're back, oh man, we're back to 2021, and with even a little bit higher interest rates. That could be it. But right now, the window of opportunity is, let me take advantage of everything I can right now. Let me get a strong negotiator. Let me get a great, strong mortgage lender who can deliver my story of how strong I am to purchase this home. And when you have that combined, it's game over. You're winning.
We do have an in-house lender, and we are here with Harvey with Capital Mortgage Funding. We do have in-house title. We're pretty much a one-stop shop for all things real estate, which is great. What you guys were saying before, too, to reiterate, you don't have to put 20% down. PTI, not a lot of costs. If you can afford the monthly, save the money up front.
Been a big fan of those sellers concessions over hundreds of years of doing mortgages. No, sellers concessions, when I first started 30 years ago, it was a normal thing because the homes were only $70,000, $80,000. So if you wanted to sell your house, homes were $150,000. You got a gorgeous house. So it was something that has always been out there. A lot of the families need to take that additional money or the seller's concessions and really use it, put it away, just keep it for their own pocket. Again, we talk about homes. Homes do need some maintenance, and you got to sort of budget for that. So that's all part of this. Working with the qualified team, you're going to learn how to budget for your house so you don't become one of those dumps at the end of the street and, it's broken down and things aren't being taken care of. You do the right things with your money, you're going to build equity.
Seller concessions are up 42% from this time last year. And why is because you're in a perfect position for a buyer. Even though this is technically a seller's market on paper, it is a chance for buyers to really get in there and clean house and get these offers accepted with creativity. So it's going to be creative lending always, but it's also creative on the offers, because if you don't ask, the answer is no. So if you're putting in an offer and your seller can get top dollar while the buyer can also win, why not do that? But you only can do that when you have quality agents and quality people all working together, so that way everybody wins.
You know what? You bring up a really good point, Becky. It is a good time for both buyers and sellers right now. On paper, it is a seller's market, but it is also a buyer's market. And so many factors go into play. One could be pricing, condition of home, and more importantly, the time of year it is. And when you get closer to the spring and summertime, when you have more competition out there, that's when you'll start to see things will change and not in your favor.
All right, that's going to wrap up. It always goes too fast. That wraps up our first show of 2023.
What a great show.
That was a ride.
Came in.
We just went on a
crazy.
journey, everybody. I hope you caught that energy.
We're going to do it again with
What a
everybody. I
great
want to
show.
thank everybody in Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate Team, of course, Jerry Nahas, Cameron Boutros, Robert and Vera Corey, Michelle Trenta, Jason Prade, and Dimitri Abro, the best football player ever Northwood's ever seen.
and of course, Anthony John.
And Anthony John always. We'll go and pick on Anthony.
You know what? That's our fearless leader. Everyone else is closing shop, and we're just doubling down. So
call Dimitri, too, if you went to Northwood University. All right, look, we got Pat Caputo coming in with sports, mortgages, and real estate for 2023. Keep it here. We will see you next Saturday.